There have been several attempts to understand the transition from traditional culture to the modern culture or ethos by various scholars, various persons, and we who basically come from English literature are often aware of quite a few of them. The works, celebrated works on modernity, modernism, though there are minor differences, but similar thing. And mostly we focus on technological advancement, uh, Darwin, and of course Freud, industrial revolution, all these things leading to modern. However, in his The World, the Text, and the Critic, a very important book of Edward Said, I always keep mentioning this, that you know the legendary fame of Orientalism has overshadowed many of his works, which are equally important, or in some cases, maybe more important than Orientalism, and one such is The World, the Text, and the Critic. It is a very revolutionary work and a counter text to Derrida as well as to Foucault, but much work has not been done. Anyway, in the beginning of this work, you know, Said uses in the chapter called Secular Criticism two very important words or tropes to understand this transition from tradition to modernity. These are filiation and affiliation. When I explain this, you will see that this is what also determines our life today, including the digital life. The very fact that I am speaking to you and many of you are listening to me, I am sure that someone would be listening. It is so kind of you to have gone through many of my lectures. I know that someone would be there, right? Had I thought that suppose a cat would be listening to me, I won't have spoken, but human to human. Now, this is important. Now, human to human, you all who are my audience, in all possibilities, none of you are in a way my blood relation, or I am not your blood relation, but I am closely connected to you, indebted to you, and you also have shown a lot of love, care by following these and preaching this. So, what is this relationship? Yes, academic and all this, but largely this is not a filiatory or relationship of filiation. That is what Said means by filiation, the relation by blood, or as we say, relatives. And today is a world, by and large, people are afraid of relatives. I cannot blame them. Resources have dwindled, mostly city lives constricted, and a very famous humorous Bengali writer Shivram Chakraborty. Chakrabortys are humorous, often I think. But right now there is some kind of sad thing associated with one Chakraborty, but we'll focus on it. He is called Shivram Chakraborty. So he said once that dangers and relatives never come alone. So whenever there is a danger, it is followed by other dangers. So similarly, relatives hardly they come along. There is a series. Anyway, so even the fact that I am trying to, you know, broach this subject these days in cities and all, if we go, it is very difficult to live with relatives. But it is true, we cannot blame them. Even we cannot house people because communities have changed. So, and we are alienated. I for so many years now, I'm not with my original biological say parents. Yes, because things are like that. I moved out after my HS and hardly ever returned home. In between, there was a 1 year kind of gap. when after PG and before PhD I was there, but hardly. So from my 18th year, I have been kind of not with my biological. So this is not special with me. It is with almost all of you, at least those of you who are watching this, since you are in academics or professional field, in some day or some way it will be with you. It cannot be compared to marriage. It's a women married, they leave the house of parents, because that is also another biological relation. So in modern times, science says this biological relations have totally broken down. But what comes here in place of that? That is very interesting. That is the affiliatory side. You feel affiliated, right? So when you're writing exams, you need to write your affiliation to which university, say Assam University, or um, whatever, Orissa University, this and that. So we are affiliated. And not only that, we have so many clubs, so many societies, and these days even digital societies. Most of these are not among people who are biologically related. Sometimes husband and wife together they open some company, but these are exceptions. But even with them, the company cannot run, or with their children. Many people have to come who do not have any biological relation. So Said gives the example of texts which showed the breakdown of this biological relation. Among these, see the waistline, very famous. You know, that question, why do you marry? What do you marry for? I think if you don't want children. So children are not necessary, but physicality is necessary. That Jude the Obscure, that inability to procreate, or maybe lack of will also. So here we can relate to Kant's theory of man being an end in himself. So Kant was against what is called uh, procreation. So is known as anti-natalist, one of the father of anti-natalists. So Said hasn't used this term antinatalism, but he has pointed it out that not only families are broken down, but we are entering different communities, clubs, societies, universities, gymnasiums. So, and in cities, these are more fashionable. So, if you have some money, slightly richer, or all that kind of thing, you have to be a members of some reputed clubs which go by the name of Royal Animals, Leopard Club, this and that. I exactly do not know. I'm not that rich. I don't know. But anyway, they all, so we have also our kinds of things. This ashram, this shangho, this club, progressive club, combined club. Possibly there is no regressive club, so they play football matches, cricket matches, etc. But why all these are coming? That means the family as an institution has failed. Here Said also notes in the passing the point raised by Lukács, though Said cites very uncomfortable affiliation with Marxism, but Lukács is this point that this reification of human beings, on that I will have to speak again or just check dictionary, that thingification we can say of man by industrialism and capitalism, high capitalism, has made it impossible to have biological relations. We give more time to our institutions, professions than our families. So there are different theories, work life balance, this and this. After the harm has been done, we are aware, but it's very difficult to balance. And obviously, with this online culture, at 12 o'clock at night, you will get a mail that tomorrow is a meeting. Something like that. Fortunately, abroad people do not follow this. I have today also verified it from a friend of mine uh, who was in England for 2 years. Again, she will go. She categorically says that their people take weekend very seriously. From Friday evening, no official mail, etc., nothing till Monday morning. So they take it seriously. But we are in a worse condition, neither here nor there. Anyway, so filiation and affiliation is very important. So modern literature is all about affiliatory sites. Ulysses, for example, or you take this very famous, I call it in a way the arch representative novel of modernism, in my view, that is a portrait of the artist as a young man. He cannot belong to Ireland. That means filiatory relations have broken. However, Said refers to modern texts. I will add something on my own. What is my contribution to this? I say that you will find this even earlier. It started a little earlier. One key text is King Lear, you know. But still, one daughter was good, but then this Gonril and Regan, so they betray Lear. Uh, Hamlet, father betrayed by mother and uncle in all possibility, so far as we know from the text. So Othello break down the relationship. Macbeth is not so much about breakdown of filial relationship as about loyalty to kingship, but all these other three tragedies all are about this breakdown of filial relations. Even Tempest, post-colonialism is a history of dethronement. So you always note that Caliban was decolonized or dethroned by Prospero, but we forget that Prospero himself is an exile who was uh, dethroned by conspiracy, you know, of his younger brother. So the right Duke of Milan lost his kingdom and everything. Of course, he had his magic. I don't. I mean, many people that do not have. So once we are made to lose our position by conspirators, very difficult to get back. So in that case, where filial relations betray us, these affiliations help, actual groups or Facebook groups or WhatsApp groups. I do not like too many messages keep coming, and I am very grateful to all my students that they have been very decent and cooperative in all the WhatsApp groups that I have created for my classes. And this is also an occasion to thank all of you. However, there are several other groups where I am added, and morning, evening, too much of affiliation, that is also bad. Swans suddenly come flying, and then message good morning, suddenly some music, flute playing, cows going, and good morning. I don't know why should everyone use good morning, that with so much video. Whenever people send me something, since I am a sincere person also, though I am humorous, I download and I try to check sooner or later. But then I find that all these are frustrating things, useless wastage of time. So that way, anyway, I have said a few more things than I would have said normally, but there are some feelings which have accumulated over the days. So remember this trope of filiation and affiliation, and try to think what can be your contribution. I should especially I'm addressing my students, not the senior ones. So what can you think about this? Do you think it is better to go back to the filiatory system, or is it not possible to go back anymore? Or what are the pitfalls of this affiliatory system where we are now compulsorily attached to 5, 6, 7, not only official work but professional bodies, this and that? So thank you very much for your kind listening. I wish you all the best. Stay safe, stay happy.